Let's talk Ohio State recruiting because right now on the recruiting trail, nobody is hotter than the Buckeyes, and they could be adding more. Steve, this weekend, highly coveted four-star edge Drake Quinn returns to Columbus. Now, I know you got your pick on Texas, but how could this weekend, could Ohio State come out with the momentum, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, we're not counting Ohio State out for anybody. Similar to what we said about Drake Quinn when he visited for the Texas game earlier in the fall. If the Buckeyes have you on campus, if they're able to showcase to you their product, their locker room, their coaching staff, their pedigree, the opportunities in Columbus, they check a whole hell of a lot of boxes. They're the number one team in the country. They look like they're trending towards defending that national championship this year. And Drake Quinn is a prospect coveted just as much for his playability as the intangibles he brings. And so Ohio State getting him back for his second home game and official visit shows how serious he is about the Big Ten powerhouse. Now, Texas getting a visit, Miami is shooting its shot, Georgia Tech is in the game, and then obviously Tennessee. But Ohio State in the picture for Drake Quinn. They got a couple other visitors on campus this weekend. And the way that they're recruiting, the clip that they're at, how can you count them out for any of these dudes?
Speaking of counting them out, flip targets on campus, and it looks like Ohio State, this is just kind of where things are in college football at the end of the season, but it looks like they're going to be able to take advantage of some weaker programs. Linebacker Braxton Rembert is on campus. Wake Forest commitment. Seems like Ohio State could nab him if they want. Cornerback C.J. Bronow committed to UF. They don't have a coach, so Ohio State brings in two recruits that are at programs in flux right now. What do you think?
Well, I talked to C.J. Bronow earlier this week, and he talked about his relationship with Coach Walton and the culture that they have up at Ohio State. He talked about the development, the track record there, and he said he's excited to see everything. It's his first time on campus. He's also been committed to Nebraska. Ohio State is certainly a program to keep an eye on for him coming out of this visit. And then Braxton Rembert, same high school as Caleb Downs down there in the Peach State. He's talked about Ohio State being a place where it is eat or be eaten, and they have dogs all over the place. He talked about James Laurinaitis and his resume and track record. And he's coming up to Ohio State this weekend. If the Buckeyes are on the gas there, you figure they ultimately add him to the class. He's 6'5", Josh, 200 pounds, a lot of traits as a second-level defender, having a terrific senior season for one of the Peach State's best programs.
So when it comes to these two in particular on campus, is it just a matter of whether or not Ohio State wants to push for the flip, or are these recruits really stuck to their decisions?
Well, I think for Ohio State, it's getting these guys around their program and seeing how they fit in
Right.
and getting to know these guys better, see them in person, see their frames, and then project them in their program. But these are guys that they obviously like on film. They've built good relationships with them to this date. They're excited to get them on campus and see how things continue this weekend.
All right. Now, we know Ohio State is also making a push to 2027's number one recruiting class. Who of interest is on campus this weekend?
Well, quite a few, but let's just talk about a couple. Brock
Yep.
Williams, he's the number 2 tight end in the country. They're battling Georgia and Texas for him. Ohio State at the forefront of that recruitment for the Illinois native. And then Sam Spiegelman and I predicted the number 8 safety in the country out of the Lone Star State, Eli Johnson, to Ohio State ahead of his visit. So Ohio State had him on campus in the spring, trending very well going into his return trip to Columbus this weekend.